welcome back to the new video class of chapter 6 molecular basis of inheritance of class 12. Okay, so in today's session we will try to understand the RNA world and the replication. What we have learned till is it could be either RNA or DNA as a genetic material. If we talk about the storage of the information, DNA is better. If we talk about the transmission of something or giving the output of that information, RNA is the better. So it concludes that either DNA or RNA can be genetic material. Both are termed as the genetic material and involved into the inheritance. Okay, but now the question is which materials which arise first? Which material is the first one, with the DNA or RNA? To understand this, certain discussion has been given by the different scientists that RNA, as we talk about the evolutionary relationship that we learn in the next chapter, evolutionary relationship, the viruses comes into existence first, and those viruses were having the RNA, so those are called the RNA viruses. Apart from that, there are certain life processes that takes place inside every cell, and wherever the life processes takes place, the RNA are involved around them. Okay, so beside being the genetic information, they act as a catalyst that we know. So they are playing multiple roles, and as they are involved in different catalytic activity, those arise first. Okay, and as they are the single stranded and can be act as for the multiple purposes, and they are single stranded, they are more active, they are less stable. As the evolution takes place, this more active form needs to convert into the lesser active form, because if it is more active, those are less stable. So stability was needed for the organisms to stay on this planet. Okay, so this RNA has got certain modifications in them. Which modification? They have evolved themselves in the double-stranded form. The single-stranded form, single-stranded DNA might be given back, single-stranded RNA might be back into the single-stranded DNA first, that is with the reverse transcription enzymes, and the single-stranded has been replicated and formed the double-stranded form, and now they are more stable in the form of the two strands of the DNA. Okay, so now we can say that it would be the RNA that comes in the existence at the very first time. Now we'll move towards the second point, that is the replication. Okay, so as we have discussed that Watson and Crick in the 1953, they have given a DNA double helix model by using the experimental proof of different groups of the scientists. Okay, X-ray differentiations and base pairing. By the help of the two theories, they have given the DNA double helix model. Immediately after giving the DNA double helix model, they have proposed that the DNA, whatever present inside the cell, they are able to generate their complementary strands. Okay, the new strand can be synthesized from the previously existed strand. So that idea was given by the Watson and Crick in the 1953. Okay, now they have suggested three different modes of the replication. They were conservative, dispersive, and semi-conservative mode of the replication. Now what are the three different modes of the replication? They like, if organism is growing, they will be having a DNA. When the new DNA is synthesized, suppose this, we can say this is the DNA, double-stranded DNA. When the new DNA is synthesized, both the strands are there. If they getting replicated, then one strand will produce a new strand, and the other strand will also produce the other new strands. When it combined, they will form the newly synthesized whole new DNA. Now this one will be as it is. So finally they will be having two double-stranded DNA. One is completely new DNA, whereas the second one is intact, or the parent DNA will be in intact form and new DNA will be formed. So that was the conservative mode of replication. As the word indicates conservative, that means the original form is conserved. Original form is as it is. Okay. Okay, so original form is as it is, and new strand will be synthesized in them. Both of the strand in the DNA, both strands are newly synthesized. In dispersive mode of replication, he suggested if this works, then from the parent DNA, suppose this is the parent DNA. Okay, this is the parent DNA. If new strands are synthesized, then what could be the possibility? The parent DNA would be present in the form of the patches in the newly synthesized strands. So, suppose this is the newly synthesized DNA. The two copies have been made from the parent DNA, and this newly synthesized strand will be present in the form of patches here and there. That is a random. Okay, random side these patches will be formed. So that is called the dispersive. The original parent DNA dispersed into the newly synthesized DNA. And the semi-conservative mode, it says that when the replication takes place, the parent DNA in the newly synthesized strand, one copy will be of the parent DNA, whereas the new copy, the second copy will be newly synthesized copy. So if we say, suppose I will write over here, this is the parent copy. Okay, now if the new strand synthesized, the two copy first will get separate. Okay, and the new copy will be formed. Those new copy are like this. So in the newly synthesized DNA, out of the two copy, one DNA strand will be of parent and one will be of the newly synthesized copy. Understand? Hope you clear about this semi-conservative mode. And this semi-conservative mode was accepted by the scientists at that time because of there were certain proof given. So other group of the scientists, they had worked on the same to prove that the DNA replicates with the help of the semi-conservative mode, not these two. So these two has been proven wrong, whereas the mode which is existed for the replication, that is proved. It proved that semi-conservative mode of replication is the better mode of replication, means only that is the mode by which the replication takes place. Now we talk about the experimental proof that Matthew Michelson and Franklin Stahl, normally it comes as the Michelson-Stahl experiment. They have performed this experiment in the year 1958. They have suggested this in 1953. After few years, in 1958, Michelson and Stahl has proposed a experiment, and they have performed the experiment and given the proof regarding the experiment, proving that the DNA is synthesized with the help of the semi-conservative mode. Okay, so we'll talk about this experiment. What they have done, they have first taken the bacteria, E. coli bacteria. Now as we know that for the growing of those bacteria, because these bacteria need the nitrogen sources, as the nitrogen sources are there in the DNA, they need nitrogen sources as the nutrient, because whatever they synthesize, it will be using this component from the nutrient itself. So they have grown the bacteria in a particular flask or whatever in presence of NH4Cl. Okay, this is the ammonium chloride. This ammonia is act as a nitrogen source in that media. There are some other sources as well, the carbon source and all, they will there into the liquid broth. But the nitrogen source is that was only NH4Cl. So wherever they need nitrogen, or wherever the nitrogen is needed by the cell, over there this heavy isotope. Okay, in the normal ammonia, NH4Cl, it would be N14. Now N14 is the normal kind, and N15 there will be an isotope of that nitrogen group. Now, as it is 15, that will be a heavy isotope, okay, and 40 will be a lighter than that. So that would be a heavy isotope in this media containing NH4Cl. NH4Cl media contain the heavy isotope. And they have grown this bacterial species for the longer period of time in this, around 48 to 2-3 days, whatever. They have grown this media till the saturation. Now what will happen, majority of the organism or E. coli cells which are growing in this media, in a newly synthesized cell or new formed cells, they will be having nitrogen source as an N15, that means a heavy isotope. Where the nitrogen source is needed, we can say that during the synthesis of the DNA, the cells need nitrogen, and this nitrogen source will get impregnated or get fixed into the DNA. Okay. Now after few generation, after the growth of the few generation, for the many generations they have grown, they have taken culture means few bacteria taken from this previous class. They have washed off those cells so that the remaining media surrounding the cell get removed, and the washed cell they have added into the new media that was having NH4Cl, but here there was a lighter isotope of nitrogen. Okay, so over here there was a different type of nitrogen source. Though they are both are NH4Cl, the only difference is this was the heavier isotope, over here the lighter isotope of nitrogen. What they have done at this stage, when they have transferred the bacteria into the newly synthesized new media, they have examined the DNA sequence of that previous culture they have taken. So few cells they have broken down and extracted the DNA from that, and they have run the centrifugation technique. Now what happened in the centrifugation technique? Normally this DNA with the lighter particle will remain on the top and the heavier particle will be coming down. Now normally centrifugation takes place with the simple broth medium, but over here the cells were isolated, they were crushed, and whatever the content is there, it was added into the tubes, something like this, which were having CSCl, cesium chloride, we can say. So cesium chloride is a thing which will not allow everything to get settled down. It will make a concentration gradient. Concentration gradient means the heavier material will get settled down quickly than the lighter material. So after some time, after the centrifugation, after few minutes of the centrifugation, there will be a creation of different bands into this way. Suppose we talk about, suppose this is a cesium chloride tube which is used in the centrifugation method. Okay, tube something like this. This is the tube, and we fill the crust organism or whatever the content is, we fill over here. Then we can see there are several bands you can observe for some chemical structure or chemical culture. So whatever the band at the lower side, that is a heavy band, and the top band are the lighter bands. So there is a separation of the same content in different groups or different bands. So in this experiment, they have observed that when they have done the centrifugation along with the cesium chloride, they have found the single band, and when they have analyzed this band, it was having it was having only heavier isotope in their band. So it was all N15. I have brought 2 because 2 DNA, but actually there was only N15 heavier bond. So whatever the content, 100% content was N15. Now they have taken the cultures, few cells, and inoculated into this new media that was having NH4Cl, a lighter isotope. And after 20 minutes, they have examined again and repeat the same experiment by doing the centrifugation technique. Now, what they have observed? The previous band, which was over here at the downside, that was shifted little bit up. Why? This band was having 2 different components in them. E. coli cells are normally getting divided in 20 minutes period of time. Whatever the content, suppose 20 cells are there, after 20 minutes they will get double, around 40. So after 20 minutes they have taken the second sample and did the centrifugation using the cesium chloride. So they have got the band in between. Now this band, they have seen that 50% were the original, that means the heavier molecules, and 50% were the lighter molecules in the same band. So that the ratio of this parent type was decreased about 50%. So in this single band, it was having 100% content is the same. In after 20 minutes it was 50%. They have repeated the experiment several times after every 20 minutes. Now what the result was? New band was found on the top. Okay, that was containing, the top band was containing M14 and 14, that means the lighter isotopes, and the lower band, that was as it is. Now what happened in this first generation? There was intact strand with both having the M15. Okay, now when the replication took place, they have from the two strands 4 strands were made. Mean from the single double stranded DNA, 2 double stranded DNA were formed. So two strands, this is the pink color strand, they get separated over here, and new strands were synthesized, they were white in color, I have shown. So in both the strands, 50% the parent DNA, 50% new DNA, both the strands. So whatever the 100% DNA is there, out of that 50% newly formed DNA and 50% original DNA. Now in the second generation, now this template will act, this all 4 template will act as a parent DNA. So when they have got separate, now new strand will be synthesized. So out of the total content, this first strand, white strand, will be synthesized the lighter isotope, again complementary strand. This one will be also, because in media it is having the lighter component, lighter isotope, and this will also be having. So out of the total content, only 25% is the parent DNA. Okay, so we can say in the third generation there will be a presence of 25% of the parent DNA, and these are the lighter isotope bands. So this band we created just after it. Now imagine if this practice has been done for the longer period of time, this band will be over here as it is, and the width of this band will increase at the same spot. So location will not get changed, but the width will get increased because the content of the lighter isotope molecules will get increased in over here. So after every generation, there will be a 50% reduction in the parent DNA. So here if we talk about the 100% parent DNA is a heavier isotope, it can decrease to 50%, 25%, and as it goes longer, in every generation there will be a decrease of 50%. So you can imagine, or you can write in the twisted questions comes. Okay, hope you are clear with this. Now we will talk about the replication process and enzymes and machinery involved in this process. As we know that the DNA in case of the prokaryote, that is present inside the cells, whereas in the eukaryotic cells, DNA present inside the nucleus. Hence the location of this replication process in eukaryotic cell, that will be in the nucleus, whereas in the prokaryotic cell it will be there in the cells where the DNA is present. And when the cell gets divided, each cells are having the same kind of the DNA. That is why just prior to the cell division, it needs to be double in number in the particular cell. Now if we talk about the replication process, then we need to understand the whole process where they start. They normally start, there are certain sequences in the DNA that will be identified by particular enzymes, and the replication process will start from the particular location. Now imagine that we know that the DNA of the human being, it is 6.6 into 10 raised to the power 9 base pair long. Now imagine the replication process, it will start at the one location, then it will take quite long time, a huge time to complete one whole replication cycle. So it will be very late for the cell, for that cell division. So what will happen, those oocytes are many in a particular DNA strands. So replication process will start simultaneously at the multiple locations, and that is how the replication process will get finished within the limited frame time. Okay, but in case of the some prokaryotic organisms, the replication process will start at a particular junction. And the process of the replication, when the process of the replication will take place, they will form different models of the DNA, and we normally term as the theta model and the Y-shaped model. In the prokaryotic cell, it terms as the theta model. Now let us start at the very first point. At the initial level of the cell division, जब सेल सोचता है कि हाँ अब मुझे सेल डिवीजन करना है, सेल नहीं सोचता है, but there will be some indication for the cell division. At that time, what happened? First activity that is performed by the cell is called the activation process. What will happen during the activation? Okay, there are certain nucleotides, because these DNA strands, those strands are made up of polynucleotide chains. Hence, we need a nucleotides. When the nucleotides bind with each other, they will make a polynucleotide chains. That is why it must needed the nucleotide to add it into that chain. Whatever the nucleotide present inside the cells, those are not always an active. Likewise, the process start and they bind. No, they must be in inactive form before, and it needs to be active before the process can start. So, whatever the nucleotides present inside the cells, those are the inactive. Over here, the DAMP, D simply denotes deoxy. Okay, so deoxidate in case of the DNA. Now, adenosine monophosphate, with the help of phosphorylase enzyme, that will convert it into the ATP, adenosine triphosphate. That is how all the four nucleotides which are present into the cell, that means the ATP, here they will be formed from the inactive form to the active. ATP, CTP, TTP and GTP, adenosine, adenine, guanine, cytosine and uracil. As we know, the four nitrogen bases are present in the DNA. So there will be activation of all four nucleotides in the from inactive form to active form with the help of the phosphorylase enzyme. Now move on the second point, that is origin of the replication. So in the whole fragment, suppose say for an example, this is the DNA double helix. Okay, so this is a DNA double helix. Now we want to start the process of the replication. So it is not the random process. The cell will identify the particular location. So say for an example, if one location over here from where the replication process will start, then this is called the oocyte. Okay, if one more location is over here, then there will be two oocytes for the replication, and that is how there will be several oocytes of the replication process for the replication process to get started. In the eukaryotic cell, there must be more than one replication origin sites. Now the next process, now it is the identification. Suppose they have identified the DNA, the sequence, particular sequence or origin over here. Now it needs to be cut. Until it cuts the DNA, all the machinery is not able to enter. The enzymes are not able to react on the DNA. So it must be cut down from the oocyte. So there will be an insertion, there will be a cutting of the particular location of the site, so that they can get separate. Otherwise they will be intact in such a manner that no enzymes can enter in this strand to synthesize the new strand. Now this activity is performed by the DNA nuclease enzyme or DNA nuclease enzyme. They will cut this strand and make open for new enzymes to act on. Third one is the unbinding. Now as we know that suppose it has cut from somewhere here, now it needs to be unwind this process. Now what they need to be unwind. So how they will unwind it? Suppose this is the strand and this need to be tear this off. So this needs to be unwind. These two strands needs to get separate, and they will see over here how this form. They have made the Y-shaped model in the eukaryotic cell. So they needs to be untwisted or unwinding. Okay, this is called the unwinding. So this activity is performed by the enzyme called as the H bond. Now what happened during the unwinding? As we know, in the DNA helix, the opposite strands, antiparallel opposite strands are attached with each other with the at the site of the nitrogen bases, and nitrogen bases are attached with the hydrogen bonds. So when the unwinding process takes place, it need to be cleave the hydrogen bonds. क्या हुआ यहाँ पे? Whatever the जो भी हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स है वो टूटते हैं जब एक टीयर होता है, जब वो अनवाइंड होता है प्रोसेस, तब वो हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स टूटते हैं और ये एक्टिविटी होती है विद द हेल्प ऑफ डीएनए हेलिकेज एंजाइम. सो दिस डीएनए हेलिकेज एंजाइम वेयर इट मस्ट बी प्रेजेंट, इट मस्ट बी प्रेजेंट at the site of opening. Suppose यहाँ से ओपन होता होता आया है तो डीएनए हेलिकेज एंजाइम यहाँ पे होगा पहले प्राइमरली, देन इट विल मूव फर्दर. सपोज मैं जहाँ पे मेरी उंगली है वहाँ पे वो दिस इज द एंजाइम हेलिकेज एंजाइम, एंड इट विल बी मूव एंड विल सिंपली ओपन द both the strand by cleavage of or by cutting the H bonds. H bond तोड़ के वो आगे निकल जाता है और जैसे जैसे आगे मूव होता है that will get untwisted. Now when you unwind this DNA strand, what will happen? As we know, if we take the rope, something like this is the DNA, okay, and when we unwind them, what will happen? There will be a creation of tension. Okay, suppose we do like this, there will be a creation of tension, and the DNA which is present before this opening side, that will get twisted and there will be a formation of tension, something like this. So this is called the DNA tension, that will be more compactly twisted like this. If you unwind this DNA, there will be a twisted very compact way. Okay, now it needs to be clear the DNA tension, otherwise what will happen? The DNA strand will get broken. So over here at the top, just before the DNA helicase enzyme, there will be a presence of topoisomerase or DNA gyrase enzyme. So function of the DNA topoisomerase is they release or they remove the tensions which is created by the unwinding of the DNA strand. So that activity, as they release the DNA tension, and there is one another activity that is performed by the binding protein. Okay, those binding protein have ability to bind with only single strands. Hence, those are called the single-stranded binding protein. Now, if the single-stranded binding proteins are there, they will never bind at the double-stranded DNA. They will never bind the double stranded. They will always identify the single strand. Now these strands are open. So see, I am explaining over here. So these are the two strands. These are now open. As soon as these strands get open, the single stranded binding protein will come and bind with these two different strands and will help to not letting these two DNA get intact again. अगर इसने इसका काम कर दिया, हेलिकेज ने अपना काम कर दिया और आगे निकल जाएगा, फिर क्या होगा? दो स्ट्रैंड अलग हो जाएंगे. अभी चांसेस रहेंगे कि दोनों के दोनों स्ट्रैंड वापस आके एक दूसरे के साथ एच बॉन्ड बना के जुड़ जाए, लेकिन यहाँ पे सिंगल स्ट्रैंडेड बाइंडिंग प्रोटीन जो होता है तो बाइंड हो जाता है, जिसकी वजह से ये दोनों स्ट्रैंड वापस से जुड़ नहीं सकती. बोथ स्ट्रैंड कैन नॉट कम क्लोजर विद ईच अदर एंड बाइंड and form the double strand again. So यहाँ पे they make the involved in the formation or making of the Y-shaped model, and they prevent the intercoiling फिर से coil होने का रोकते हैं. ठीक है, they prevent the intercoiling. Now the seventh step, that is formation of primers. Now as दिस प्रोसेस इज अनटिल दिस द प्रोसेस हैज डन, ओपनिंग हो गया, दोनों अलग अलग पड़े हैं, यहाँ पे प्रोसेस चालू है. नाउ till how long this process is, that when these strands get separated is needs to be a formation of the RNA primers. Now what are the RNA primers? RNA primers are the smaller segments of the DNA. So वो ऐसे smaller segments होते हैं, उसमें बहुत ही कम नंबर के न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स जुड़े होते हैं. सेल के अंदर, न्यूक्लियस के अंदर डीएनए प्राइमेज पड़ा होता है, दैट इज एन एंजाइम. ओके, वो एंजाइम क्या करता है, अगेन दे विल हेल्प इन द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ द आरएनए प्राइमर्स, एंड आरएनए प्राइमर हैव द कैपेसिटी टू बाइंड एंड आइडेंटिफाई द ओपन साइट. आरएनए प्राइमर कैसा होगा, जहां पे से ए स्ट्रैंड खुलती है उसका यहाँ पे सपोज ए टी 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 सी ऐसा कुछ स्ट्रैंड है, तो ये जो प्राइमर होगा वो इसकी कंप्लीमेंट्री प्राइमर होगा. प्राइमर्स तो बहुत सारे अंदर बनेंगे, लेकिन वॉट एवर द कंप्लीमेंट्री प्राइमर विल बी देयर, दे विल आइडेंटिफाई द सीक्वेंस ऑफ दिस पेरेंट स्ट्रैंड, और वी कैन से द टेम्पलेट स्ट्रैंड. ओके, तो टेम्पलेट स्ट्रैंड क्या है, दैट इज द पेरेंट स्ट्रैंड. तो यहाँ पे दो टेम्पलेट स्ट्रैंड्स बन गई पेरेंट डीएनए की. तो यहाँ पे पेरेंट डीएनए की कंप्लीमेंट्री साइट को आइडेंटिफाई करके उसके अगेंस्ट में जो कंप्लीमेंट्री डीएनए होगा, वो कंप्लीमेंट्री प्राइमर होगा, दैट विल बाइंड at the site of the 3' okay, this is the 3' site and this one over here is the 5' site. okay, so opposite direction, यहाँ पे 3' and 5', and as we know that RNA primers will always bind at the 3' site of the template strand. पेरेंट जो स्ट्रैंड होती है उसके 3' साइड पे ही बाइंड करेगा, क्योंकि 5' साइड दैट विल बी हैविंग द phosphate 5'P phosphate group. Over here there will be a more active group, that is OH group at the end of this 3' side. So RNA primer will bind with this 3' location. Now what will happen as so we talk about the both process at the same time, formation of the primer and the binding of the primer. Okay, now ninth one, that is the new strand synthesis. Now it's time to synthesize the new strand. How they will synthesize? Now RNA primer is over here. Again a new enzyme which will get attracted towards this RNA primer. Okay, now that enzyme is termed as the DNA polymerase. यहाँ पे DNA बनता है, तो DNA polymerase हमको याद रखना है सिंपली. तो RNA primer will attract the DNA polymerase. Now DNA polymerase will bind at the site of the RNA primer. Primer will be fixed. They will make a small complementary sequence over here. Now just prior to this RNA primer, this DNA polymerase will bind here. Now when the DNA polymerase bind with this sequence, they will now attract those activated nucleotides. Now whatever the activity was done at the first time, at the very beginning, that will work over here. Now this GATPs, DCTPs, DTTPs, DGTPs, whatever the activated nucleotides are there, they will attract by this DNA polymerase. So DNA polymerase now is over here. Now the new activated nucleotides will get added according to that complementary site. Suppose यहाँ पे A है, तो यहाँ पे T वाला न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स आएगा. That means the TTP will bind over here, and there will be जैसे जैसे एडिशन होगा, जैसे जैसे ये DNA पोलीमरेज आगे बढ़ेगा, वैसे वैसे ही वो नए कंप्लीमेंट्री according to the complementary site, new addition will be takes place, and this DNA polymerase will move forward, and this DNA polymerase will always move from the 3' to 5' location of this complementary this template strand or mother or parent strand. Okay, now as this strand synthesized, this is now DNA polymerase will shifted over here. So when it is shifted and its back side, they will form the new DNA and is move further. In this second strand, once they identify the sequence somewhere over here, suppose this is the sequence, which matches to that RNA primer, this RNA primer will bind over here. The DNA polymerase will come. So DNA polymerase, as we know, the DNA polymerase will always move from 3 days to 5 days, and they will go towards the 5 days. छोटे से बड़े तक जाते हैं, ऐसा याद रखना। तो 3 days to 5 days की तरफ वो आते हैं DNA polymerase। तो यहाँ से यहाँ तक की small segment synthesis करेंगे। Now, as it goes further, if it opens further, then again the new polymerase, a primer will bind over here, and the DNA polymerase again come, and this will complete this section. यहाँ पे जब भी छोटे-छोटे से segments बनेंगे, there will be a gap in between. Complete sequence synthesis नहीं होगा, patches में synthesis करेंगे, क्योंकि उल्टी direction में हो रहा है, क्योंकि short fragment में हो रहा है, इसीलिए they cannot form the whole strand intact form, in an intact form. So there will be a creation of certain gaps in between. Now again a new enzyme will come and do its activity, that is called the DNA ligase. They will fill the gap in between. They will complete the gap wherever the strand is not synthesized, or wherever the single nucleotide gap is there, that will be completed by the DNA ligases enzyme. Now the whole process is completed. Okay, this strand is complete from this side to this side, because this strand is made in an intact form or in a continuous manner, that leads, that is the leading strand. So leading strand, and it's have a lacking, that's why it is called the lagging strand. Not that's why, but we can remember in such a way that the continuous strand, that is called the leading strand, and जिसके अंदर कुछ lacking होता है, that is called the lagging strand. Understand? So both the strands are complete. Again, once the process is complete, what will happen? This DNA polymerase needs to be unassembled. कैसे? जैसे जैसे DNA polymerase आगे सपोज इसमें कंप्लीशन हो गया यहाँ तक, नए फॉर्म तक, नए रेप्लिकेशन ओरिजिन साइट तक एक DNA पॉलीमरेज जाएगा, और वहां से जब पूरी एक्टिविटी खत्म होगा, जब नया DNA ओरी साइट मिलेगी, तब वो रिटर्न होगा वापस से, एंड व्हेन इट रिटर्न्स फ्रॉम the end point, they will do a proofreading activity. What they will do in the proofreading activity? They will simply check whether all the nucleotides which get incorporated in this strand, those are perfect or not. If there are sometime by error or by some mistake a wrong nucleotide gets fixed, they will exclude them, they will remove them, and instead of that the actual or the complementary nucleotide will get fixed over there. So they will do dual function, formation of the nucleotide chain, or formation of the synthesis of the new dual DNA from 3' to 5' direction, and proof activity from 5' to 3' direction. Okay, hope you are clear with this whole process of DNA replication. Thank you. We will meet you again in the new class.